Hey guys,
Hey, day 21.
choose your own adventure day.
Yeah, we're still here in Moab. We've had 3 nights so far. Last night here, tonight.
And we're in front of our little cabin.
Yeah, it's got nice views. You can just see a little bit of. Oh, that's our hire car.
Hiya, car.
Yeah,
Bad joke.
that was terrible. It's a Chevy Malibu.
Yep.
It's just like a Camry, I guess. Goes pretty good though.
It's pretty nice. Has leather seats.
Yeah.
All the mod cons.
Yeah,
Can't complain.
yeah. Less than, well, it's got more than 3,000 miles on it now, but it's basically brand new.
Yep. Little
Yeah.
cutie. And you
And
can
it-
see the mountains over Mike's
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah,
We're
well,
between mountains, so there's mountains there and then there's mountains right there.
Yeah, been good in this caravan park. Except there's no table in the cabin to make coffee on. That's bad.
Yep.
Yeah, but other than that, it's been good.
Not bad.
Okay, so what did we do today?
It was a choose your own adventure day. So we didn't really have anything planned, but we had some ideas of different things that we wanted to do. So we started the morning heading down to the Lions Park Road, which took us along the Colorado River, which was really pretty. Between all of these mountains, one would expect rivers down every single one because there's snow still around the place, but there isn't. So it was really nice to see the Colorado River.
Yeah, it was good. And then we went on the La Salle Mountains Loop Road, which took us up through the La Salle Mountains, up into the snow again. Which was amazing. Some more incredible views from up there. They were a bit hard to capture from the car. Not too many places to stop up there, but we did see a bunch of deer.
We did. Oh dear.
Oh deer.
Yeah, we
There
saw
were 8,
some.
there were 8 deer, not oh dear. There were 8 of them.
There were 8. 3 different lots. So we're counting all the wildlife along the way. We have a bit of a tally board on the phone just to keep track of what we've seen along the way.
Yeah. And then we went to the Hole in the Rock, which was weird.
It was a weird place. So the waitress said last night, wow, that's a interesting place.
Yeah.
She was on the money.
Yeah, it's basically a huge Utah rock, and this couple made it into their home. They tunneled out and dug out rock over the course of about 15 years and made all these different rooms under there. It's the second place where we've had crazy people who have dug for
Into
years
rock.
and years and years. Yeah, they did. These people did it from about the mid 40s to the early 60s. So yeah, it was interesting, and there are all kinds of weird sculptures and gardens, and yeah, just a random place,
Yep.
but kind of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we went on to a place called Wilson's Arch, which is another arch. There's lots of arches around here. So it is a geographical landscape. You will probably put it better.
It's an arch made of rock.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's caused by erosion with wind and water and
geological,
things like
not geographical.
Yeah, starts with G. Pretty close.
It is geographical as well. It was
Yeah.
on the map.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
That's
true.
right.
Yeah, so it's just by the side of the road. So we parked the car, and it's like a 200-meter hike up a very steep
Up
hill.
a very steep hill, wasn't it, Mike?
It was very steep.
Yeah, it was.
It was, and I ran up very fast to get up there before some kids to get a photo without anyone in it, and the air
Cool
was cold.
photo.
It hurt my lungs. Anyway, that's enough of
Rookie
that.
error.
And then what did we do this afternoon?
This afternoon we went back into town, into Moab, and we got gelato ice cream. So we tried something called huckleberry ice cream. So huckleberry is a berry that's found here in the US, and it tastes a little bit between blueberry and strawberry with a bit of a bubblegum twist.
Yeah, I thought there was some kind of caramel
Maybe
or coffee something
smoky
going on as
something.
well. Yeah, it was
Very nice.
nice. Yeah.
I will be lining up for another one of those somewhere along the way when we can find one again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went shopping, which is one of my favorite things to do. So we're getting little souvenirs along the way. We're not getting too many, obviously, because we don't really want to pay too much for the suitcase kilos on the way home, but hopefully in each place we can get a keyring, a sticker, and something else from there. So that's been really nice
been
to
good.
do.
Yeah, so that was day 21.
21.
So let's talk about some questions. Let's talk about
Yeah.
the last 3 weeks. We've done a bunch of stuff. Here's a quick rundown. We landed in LA. We went to Yosemite.
Yeah.
We got caught in a snowstorm. We came home, had to scramble to reset the schedule. A couple of unplanned nights in Fresno. Missed out on Sequoia National Park, which was a bummer.
Was a bummer.
But we did see the sequoias in Yosemite. Thankfully. Then back to LA, 2 days in Disney that were epic.
Love Disneyland.
6 nights in Vegas with a small screw up with the hotel, but that's
We won't
okay.
talk about that.
Very
Keep
much.
going.
And then picked up our car and into Utah, and then we've done the Mighty Five national parks here: Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches. Yeah, so it's been good. Okay, so
It's been excellent.
we have received some questions. So
We
let's talk about them. Question 1. What was the biggest rookie error that we've made?
We haven't really made too many rookie errors. High five us. But we have noticed not booking things as much in advance and missing out of some of those things that we may have been interested in, we've missed out on. So one of those things was potentially doing the Paris Tower, where we were staying in Vegas at the Paris. You can actually pay to go up in the tower. There's a viewing platform and a restaurant. The restaurant's very expensive, but we thought maybe it might be cool because we're staying at the Paris to do that. However, tickets were fully booked out a couple of days in advance for that attraction for the few days that we had opportunity to do that. So that's probably one of the things, and we're sort of working out along the way if we're not booking in advance. We're a bit surprised by some of the prices as well. So that's probably the biggest rookie
biggest
error.
Thing. Yeah, the other error that we made that just turned into an awesome story in the end was not paying proper attention to the weather app. Well, paying attention to the weather app, but not so much the locals. And Yosemite snowstorm caught us out
Yes.
a little bit.
So
because we were
Apple
looking at the
Weather
app.
said that
It was going to clear up. It's going to
cold
snow for a
and-
couple of hours and it was going to clear up.
and we got romanced by all of the snow falling, because that's the first time we've ever seen snow falling. Bunch of Aussies, L plates on, going,
and then-
this is so pretty.
Yeah, and then the guy in the gift shop said, well, if you don't go now, you're going to be stuck here for 3 to 4 days. So,
Which meant we would have missed Disneyland. So we got our skates on. Get it? That was a bad joke.
it was.
Yep. The skates and ice and snow. Anyway, moving on. And we got out of there. So yeah, that was
Cool. Yeah, so that was an error. We're paying
a bit more attention
to the weather, planning ahead a
and
little
not
bit more.
just checking Apple weather.
Yeah, we're checking multiple sources,
Yes.
which is good.
Good stuff.
Okay, next question. Things that have surprised us. What do you got?
Couple of things for me. The more generalized things. In the States, people speed. So there are speed signs along the road like we have at home. And as we know at home, we have cameras everywhere. There are police with radar guns, all that kind of stuff. You may do a little bit over because we're all human and
It's just a guide, right?
it's just a rough guide. But over here, oh my gosh, they speed so badly. So it might be like the speed limit might be 65 miles an hour and everyone's doing 80. And so you might be doing, say, 70, 75, and people are passing you and you're holding everyone up. So it's, do you go with the flow of traffic and speed? Or do you do the speed limit? And so we've been talking to a few locals around how to navigate that. The consensus is you just go with the flow with everyone, unless you're in town, and if you're in a town, then you do the speed limit that's set. So my rule of it's a guide actually applies in America. Thanks.
Yeah, but could we just say that if the posted speed limit's 80 and everyone's doing 10 over and you're doing 90, and
It's
then
miles
you
an
multiply
hour.
that by 1.6, it feels really, really fast.
And I like it.
and we're in a Camry, essentially.
Yes.
Doesn't quite handle as well as the Mustang.
It doesn't. No, she doesn't. Yeah. Another thing that has taken me by surprise is the amount of people who smoke over here. I know smoking's still a thing back in Australia, but here in the States, everyone smokes. There's vaping, there's marijuana smoking, and a lot of cigarette smoke. Noticed it very much in Vegas. Both of us had a bit of a sniffly nose, dry throat, that kind of thing. We were in aircon a lot of the time as well, and when we're out on the streets, it just stank like smoke.
Yeah.
It was...
And it's like that in all the cities. We haven't encountered that in the national parks so much.
No.
But in the cities,
Yeah, very much
definitely,
so.
very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Other things that we've noticed is, particularly because we're doing touristy things, lots of people like to push in line. So there are lots of people, particularly one bunch of people, one group of people who speak one particular language that's not English, who push in line all of the time. They also, we've noticed on a lot of the hikes that we've done, so there might be a trail, and so as we would do, you move or merge to, so we're doing the right hand side because everyone over here drives on the right, so normally for us it's the left, but we're, you know, single file on the right. No, hikers, if you're in a group of 5, it's 5 across, and whoever's coming the other way, you have to get off the path and let the 5 pass.
Yeah, quite rude. But in contrast to that, if you're standing out at a viewpoint or an arch or whatever, everyone's very polite waiting in line to get your turn. Everyone's offering to take photos for everyone else, and everyone's really friendly. So
we've met some lovely
it's a weird
people along the
contrast.
way doing that as well. So we've been trying to shout them out where
shout
we
out
can.
to John and Debbie from
Yeah.
Delaware, Ohio, that we met yesterday at Canyonlands.
Canyonlands. Yep.
Yeah.
That's been really good. What else? Oh, altitude and walking. Oh my gosh. Mike, would you like to talk about this, seeing as though you were very much challenged today getting up to that arch?
I was fine. The air was cold and we're at altitude. But yeah, it's really taken us by surprise. We both, bug on my nose. We're sitting under a tree with lots of caterpillars, so if one falls and we freak out, just
Go
be
with
ready
it.
for that.
Just say yes.
Yeah, we're not the most fit people, but we both work out regularly.
go to the
and
gym.
We're not in terrible shape. And we've really noticed at altitude, anything
Yeah.
over about 5,000 feet, if you're walking up a hill that would normally be easy, it's just not easy.
Yep. And short, shallow breaths. You run out of breath really quickly.
Yeah.
You have to be mindful to take your time and pace yourself, particularly at altitude with heights. I know it's something that a friend of ours went overseas at Colorado recently, and she was talking about altitude sickness, and she's an AMBO, so she would know. Yeah. She was telling us about altitude sickness, and we're like, yeah, she'll be right, because we're Aussies.
Yeah, and we're not even going that high.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Has been
it's
something.
been challenging. It's definitely impacted us. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. What is your biggest highlight of the trip?
Highlight of the trip. A funny story, probably. On our second day, I think we were in Fresno, so we'd just outrun the snowstorm in Yosemite. We got to Fresno, where we'd actually booked for the following night. We're kind enough to allow us to have 2 nights there. So we'd had one night, we'd come down, we're getting breakfast in the morning, and a random chick came up to me and started asking me questions about Yosemite and a snowstorm. I actually thought that she'd overheard me telling the receptionist at Fresno about the snowstorm, and so she and her partner were going up to Yosemite the next day. Anyway, it turned out she'd actually Googled and YouTubed our snowstorm vlog, and to get some updated information, and she said, we knew it was you because of your hair. So my bright red hair stuck out, but shout out to that couple. I hope you made it to Yosemite safe and sound and enjoyed the snow and some hiking while you were there.
Absolutely. If you happen to see it, comment below so
we can shout out
say
to
hi.
you.
That'd be awesome. But I reckon that we've hit some sort of record by getting recognised in public by a random stranger with only 50 subscribers on our YouTube channel. That is ridiculous.
It was like, what, the 4th day in the US. So
That's
very
pretty
interesting.
funny. Got any other highlights?
The sphere, oh my gosh, I probably raved about it so much before we left, but the sphere blew my mind.
Yeah, if you don't know what it is, have a look at some YouTube videos.
It's in Vegas.
That'll be way easier to understand than us trying to tell you.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It's,
On the inside and the outside.
Yep,
It was
just
amazing.
everything.
Yeah.
What else?
the national parks in general have been spectacular. We were talking about this in the car this morning as to where they would rate in our
very hard.
favourites, and just all the 6 national parks that we've been to so far have just been mind-blowing and incredible.
And so
in every way.
different.
Also
like,
different. from
Also
each other.
different. So we did the Mighty 5 here in Utah. And one would imagine, given they're like within short distance of one another, like we've done the 5 on the way in or while we've been here in Moab, and they're all very, very different. They present with different
Logical
things. Yeah, so
they've
unique.
All been really different. It's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's something else that's been a highlight or maybe a surprise. I'm not sure. All the drinks are enormous.
Oh my gosh.
We went to Mexican in Vegas. What was that place called? Nacho Daddy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nacho Daddy.
Nacho Daddy.
And we ordered margaritas, and they came out, and they were.
Like as big as my head.
It was ridiculous.
It was huge.
Very, very large. And then we got pizza here in Moab, and we thought we'll stop at the 7-Eleven and buy a beer, because you can do that here. So we got 1 beer each for what, I don't know, $2.50 each?
Yeah, it
something
was
like
ridiculous.
that. And they're 24-ounce cans, which are
As big as my head.
that's right.
Everything's as big as my head.
We did the conversion. It's the same as 2 Aussie stubbies in 1 can for
Yep.
$2.50 or $3, and you buy them at the grocery store or the 7-Eleven. So pizza and beer, happy days.
Yep, meets the budget, and
It does. Speaking of budget, we're on budget.
just.
So,
I think we scraped it in today. We're back in the black.
we were in the red for a few days there, but we've
Thanks to Vegas.
yeah. That's everything's expensive there, but that's okay.
Yep,
So we're
back on track.
We're doing things cheap and managing to see everything we want to see, which is awesome.
Moving on to the next question. What was the biggest surprise with relation to parks that we've had?
For me, I knew that the big ticket, the big national parks would be incredible. I was fully expecting them to be amazing. I was even expecting that there might be a little bit of not living up to the hype. They all did live up to the hype, so that was amazing. Didn't leave one of them disappointed.
No.
The surprise for me was this little state park called Escalante Petrified Forest State Park that we happened to stop into on the way to Moab.
Yeah, here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
way between Bryce and Moab, and or Capitol Reef. I forget. They're all blending together, but it was just this little place with a little, I don't know, a couple of kilometre walk, and we
Yeah.
went up the mountain, and there was just petrified wood.
Just
laying
there.
on the ground, and in all these spectacular colours. And I've seen petrified wood in Australia, and it's kind of bland. You can see that it looks like wood, but it's kind of bland. But this had all deep purples, like the colour of my shirt, and mustard yellows, and
Greys.
the greys, and the bark still looked like bark on the outside. So yeah, that was a big surprise.
And the trees where it was petrified were actually, as they had fallen, how they lay on the ground, which I've
broken
never
up into
seen
chunks.
before.
Looked like someone had cut up a log with a chainsaw
was
and left
odd.
it all in place. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What was your biggest surprise in relation to the parks?
So some of those Instagram things that I've been following with the big, ticket items, the arches and things like that, getting into the parks and then realizing when you get the park map, they rank them easy, moderate and hard. And some of those big ticket items were moderate or hard, and had a bit of a gulp, and knowing how much we had been struggling with the altitude and walking and going uphill, was really worried that we wouldn't be able to do it, but we did, and I'm really proud of us for doing that. Really also proud of us for inching out as much as it may have been really slow for people behind us, in areas to take photos under arches or on the edge of cliff faces, and what have you, to get those photos. Just really proud of just saying yes and doing everything safely. Don't worry, we weren't being reckless or what have you. We do know we have friends and family at home that want us to come back, and we haven't lived enough of life yet, so we weren't doing anything recklessly or anything like that. But I'm really happy that we've been able to accomplish some of those big ticket items.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. And last question, favourite national park or state park?
Yeah, so
Out of all the ones
I
we've
may
done
have
so
made
far.
a big statement yesterday in our vlog that the Mighty Five were probably up there, and they are. And if I can cheat like Mike cheated yesterday, the Mighty Five as a group would be in the top 5 as one. I'm still in love with Yosemite. Yosemite is still number 1 for me, including everything that we've seen back home in Australia. Yosemite is probably still number 1. What about you?
Yeah, Yosemite was incredible. Maybe Bryce was my favourite one.
Yeah.
I think the way that the landscape was different, and there were these big massive overlooks, and then you could get right down in the canyon amongst the hoodoos and see things up close. Maybe that was my favourite. Oh, it's too hard to say. It's too hard to say.
It is. But we're only 3 weeks in, so we've still got some big ticket items to go
6.5 weeks to go. It's
Day
crazy.
21,
We're
and there are
not quite-
66 days.
Not quite a third of the way yet.
Nope.
Day 22 is a third of the way.
Tomorrow.
So tomorrow is a third of the way in. This
So,
is ridiculous.
talking about the next couple of days, Mike, where are we heading?
So tomorrow we're off into Colorado. We're just doing a quick jaunt into Colorado because we didn't have the time to get as far in as we wanted to get to Denver or Pikes Peak, but we are going to drive the $1 Million Highway, which is a spectacular mountain road. It's in between a couple of little towns called Ouray and No, I can't remember. Anyway, we'll tell you tomorrow.
Starts with D. It's
Durango.
Durango.
That's where we're finishing off. It starts with S. Anyway, it's
Silverton.
fine. Silverton. That's it. Good work.
I know. High five me. Yes.
Yeah, so we're driving that road. We're going to be hanging on tight, and we're hoping that our couple of weeks of driving on the wrong side of the road stands us in good stead. It's starting to feel pretty automatic and comfortable for both of us, so we reckon that we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because that road's apparently a bit sketchy. If you're not used to
Awesome.
it. But it'll be great.
It will be.
Yeah, and then into Durango, and then the following day we're back into Utah, and then into Arizona. So
And why are we going there?
we're off to Monument Valley in 2
Yes,
days'
we
time,
are.
which will be great for the most expensive accommodation of the trip.
Of the entire
Staying
trip.
at the View Hotel. Google that one if you want to see something amazing.
Yeah.
Or we'll show you in a couple of days' time as well.
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we're done.
We are.
I think that was a good wrap up. If you've got any more questions,
Send them
to
through.
us, because we'll do another one of these wrap ups in another 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. Or it depends how much we got to tell you about, I guess. Because
We know a third of you who are tuning into our videos are from the US. So comment below who you are and where you're from, and maybe we can catch up and have
tell us
coffee, a beer, something like that with you guys.
Yeah.
Tell us some good facts.
tell
if
us
we're
your
traveling
favourite
through
place
stuff.
to see, so that we can make sure that we see it when
Yeah.
we're there. What's your favourite restaurant?
Yeah.
Local? We want to
Whatever.
know all of that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Sounds
cool.
good.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for us, I think. But nothing else to say except if you have a chance to go on an awesome adventure.
Just say yes. See you guys.
Bye.